The onions and garlic probably take around 15 minutes to get soft and cooked. So I would say you'd want to let that go probably a good 15 minutes before you pull it out. And then when you add your crawfish back in, we're going to add this right back on top of it and let it cook and add a little bit more flavor to the crawfish. Early in the season, pretty much from December to the middle of April, you don't have a long cooking process. In April, late April and May, when the heat starts coming in, the crawfish start going into the ground more. They start preparing for being into the ground for summertime, so their shells get a lot harder. Then you have to cook them a longer time to penetrate through that shell to cook them. It's really, once the crawfish are bright red, they're ready, they're cooked. So it doesn't take near that long as a lot of people think, mainly this early in the season with as soft as the shell is on the crawfish. This is where it's important too, on the amount of water that you put in there. You want it just over the top of the crawfish. Our process is that we boil them until they're bright red. When all the crawfish are bright red, you mix them around, they're done. We're done boiling here. We brought it back up to a boil. Everything's bright red now. That's what we were looking for with this red color. I'm gonna move them around just a little bit off the top. Our next step, we're gonna add our other half a gallon of lemon juice. Lemon juice is really strictly there for flavor. Even though you've boiled the crawfish, they're ready, that water is still at boiling temperature, even though it's not boiling, just below boiling temperature. And so therefore what you want to do is just shock the water a little bit, cut the cooking process down to where you don't overcook the crawfish even though your burner's already turned off. One thing that we do is like to try to cool the water a little bit. There's a couple of ways to do that. You can add ice to it. We add our corn that's frozen from the store. We're going to add that in and it'll act as ice. A lot of people think that you have to boil your corn, but the corn's already cooked. So we're just going to put it in there to heat it up. That'll act as a little barrier there to cool that water just a little bit. And then we're going to add, which I know everybody will love to see this, a whole pound of butter. And a lot of people think that this makes them peel easier, and we pretty much go with the concept that the butter is going to do just the same thing it does for everything else you put on it. It's going to add flavor. It's going to make it taste better. So at this point, we're going to probably want to add a little bit of ice, strictly just to kill the cooking process here so we don't overcook them. Because even though you've turned the water off, they're still cooking. That water's almost at boiling temperature right now. There, you'll end up cooking them for the right time and they still come out overcooked. And what happens when they're overcooked is they just get real soft and hard to peel. They'll stick to that shell a lot. In about 20 minutes, we're ready to eat them. If you look at these crawfish and how thin these shells are, this is talking about how you don't want to overcook them, but see how soft that shell is right there? It's paper thin, and that's the one thing that doesn't take long to cook. So you want to be able to get that out just like this and have that shell, the top of the shell is thin as well, to where it'll peel and come out exactly like that.
Nobody escaped.